Max Sciandri, the British-born Italian, retained his leader's yellow jersey with ease yesterday. His nearest challenger is now the Dutchman, Adrie van der Poel, who battled out the time bonus sprints on stage 4, first at Grantham and then in Coventry. Today it's the Pennines, and will Sciandri survive the mighty chain to become the first Italian winner of the race?
Yeah, I hope to win, you know. I mean, you never know till Leeds to the finish, but the team is still riding very strong. I'm riding well. It's a nice day. Just to get over the 2 hills all together, you know. I mean, the most important guys, and keep everything under control, you know. And I don't think there'll be problems in Leeds.
Hello again and welcome this morning to the city of Nottingham. The Kelloggs Tour of Britain now about to start on its final day. The 500-mile race, starting in Dundee last Monday, will now finish in Leeds and the winner will be known. This morning the sun is shining, the wind is still blowing very strongly and the mountains are assuredly coming. Let's remind ourselves of the overall situation. In the lead is still the Italian Max Sciandri, 11 seconds back Adrie van der Poel. 14 seconds down in third place Jos van Aert. 16 seconds back Hendrik Redant, and in 5th place the national champion of Belgium Johan Museeuw. He is 18 seconds behind. Well, yesterday it was Adrie van der Poel who made the most of the small time bonuses. He climbed up into 2nd place overall. He seems to be now the man most likely to challenge Max Sciandri on this final stage.
I think so. Today is the last stage. It's going to be a very tough one, I think. 2 climbs in it, very hard. After the last climb there is a hot spot, you can see over here. And I'm going to try to pass over the 2 climbs with the first one and then to take maybe here the sprint. It's going to be very hard because the team of Sciandri is riding very well, very strong. So I think they're going to try to control the race, but like yesterday at the end, it is possible to get away in a breakaway. So for me, I had to do the maximum today.
I would think, Adrie, that a lot of people will be putting in their maximum today because a few seconds separates a lot of men. Martin Early, 20 seconds back. Olaf Ludwig, 23. Phil Anderson, last year's winner, 28 seconds back. All of these men now probably planning their own strategy on this final ride to Leeds of 110 miles. And at the front of the pack here, conducting affairs, Michel Dernice, the winner a couple of years ago. And now on the same team as the race leader, Max Sciandri. A busy day for him. The official start of today's stage after a 5-mile ride away from the city of Nottingham. We're now heading out into the Peak District and on into the Pennines, and just look at this. Ryber Wall down the bottom. It doesn't look very steep, does it? But believe me, it's probably the steepest climb of the day. As we head off over Ryber Pass and then out to the Snake Pass and through some stunningly beautiful British countryside. Here's the weather conditions. Sunny forecast all day, temperatures getting warmer, 20 degrees, and happily for the course, the road conditions will be dry. The first big challenge of the day as we leave Matlock, the climb of Ryber Wall, and look at this, Paul, men in trouble at the back.
And the man there, number 101, that's Mark Walton, and he knows this climb intimately. He uses it in training, but his experience wasn't enough, and I think a lot of riders have been surprised. They know the kind of gears that you need for Holme Moss, but they didn't expect this.
At the front, it is Cesare Zamana, the Pole we've come to know these last few days, leading the way up the climb, and he is climbing this hill so strongly. He leads in the King of the Mountains competition by 4 points, Paul. By the top of this first category climb, it'll be more than that.
Definitely, he's an excellent rider. He's climbing extremely well. And just a little bit further back down the road, we can see around the corner was Phil Anderson, who's trying to mark him, but he can't stay with him. It's not very far now till he comes to the top of this climb. There's the line. He goes over the top to take maximum points in the King of the Mountains competition.
So he's over the top, and the rest of the riders came over in this order. Phil Anderson taking second place. Thierry Claverola, the King of the Mountains in the Tour de France, he was third, and Chris Walker was fourth. Well, we've now come down Ryber Wall, heading into Matlock, and Phil Anderson has kept the momentum going over the top of the climb, taking a small pop-tart sprint there. He gets the 5 points. Zamana is still here, and so too Claverola. This breakaway forming at the top of the wall.
As we go past Chatsworth House, it looks as if the break is actually going to get caught. Phil Anderson jumped into that group not to try and move away, but to cover Max Chiandri and protect him. And I think when we go back down to the race, we'll see that it'll all be back together. And there we are, Phil Anderson. Quick word to Frankie Andreu here on the front. OK, boys, I was just doing the work.
So the field has regrouped. We're now heading up towards the top of the Snake Pass. We're actually going up the easier side, the riders will be pleased to hear. It's good road surface, and as we come up towards the last 200 metres of the climb, it is again Zamana who's coming out of the main part of the field here, so he can sprint as well, this man, when it goes uphill. Cesare Zamana taking again maximum points. This is enough now to confirm him as King of the Mountains of this year's Tour. He looks over his shoulder, just make sure nobody's approaching him, but as he crosses the line, nobody does. And so he is over the top, and again chased over the top there by Phil Anderson, 10 points for him, and Thierry Claverola. Sean Yates riding well today, a 4th place there on the Snake Pass for him. The field have regrouped as they start the climb of Holme Moss. They're coming around the corner now, heading on the A6024. And they will see the long climb that awaits them now. They've completely regrouped. There it is, right up to the top as far as the eye can see. And we know, because the escorting police have told us, there is a massive crowd awaiting to welcome the Tour riders on the climb. The yellow jersey of Chiandri must be gaining confidence now, Paul.
Definitely, but notice that all the time Phil Anderson is staying near him. The man at the front in the white jersey with the red and blue bands is Sean Yates, the British champion. He's done an excellent job over the last few days, and Yates really doing a good job setting the tempo. On his right-hand shoulder there is Thierry Claverola, the little climber.
And Winterberg's going on the right, and this is well timed. Anderson spotted him make that move, immediately went on the left. Phil Anderson has joined Guido Winterberg here. They're only partway up the climb as well. They've just accelerated ahead. No reaction yet from Chiandri. And this is Martin Early having a go now. Martin Early going clear.
Well, the man I watched the other day fall on his head, and then he recovered to come 2nd in Coventry. Martin really riding well. It could be a man to surprise today. He's trying to get across there, but Anderson really riding excellent over the last couple of days. Every time there's been a move, he's jumped into it to try and protect Chiandri's place, but Sean Yates still at the front of the pack, setting a good tempo.
Yates is magnificent. He really is the strong man on the team. He's the workhorse. He never wins much because that's not his job. His job is to keep this race in contact, and that's exactly what he's doing. He's just hovering a little bit behind Martin Early here. Early coming up towards the 2 leaders. And every attack is a danger to the overall lead of Max Chiandri, because the whole field, apart from a handful at the back, are separated by only a few seconds. All of these riders having participated with distinction in the Tour de France over the years. And now they're spearheading the race as we go up towards the top of Holme Moss. It's just a little bit beneath 2,000 feet when we climb to the top of this. Thank heavens the sun is shining. There's the yellow jersey. He sat in the pack there, and he's still being paced up by Sean Yates. The way he sits there, Paul, he just thrashes out the rhythm, doesn't he?
He really is a powerful rider. He sits far back over the saddle and just forces down with those gears, and at the moment he's the lightest he's been for a long time. But there are some very good climbers moving to the front at the moment. I saw Thierry Claverola in 3rd or 4th position, and Atle Kvalsvold, the Z rider, there too. So maybe as we get nearer to the summit, 1 or 2 of these climbers are going to start to attack.
Well, you know, this really is the final chance for the climbers. They've got to get clear of the field before the top, I think, and then go for gold in the finish in Leeds, because once we're off the top of this climb, there are no more real hills to speak of in this year's Kelloggs Tour. Winterberg still tapping out the pace at the front, but they're hanging on nicely behind him. That's his position overall, but he's almost 4 minutes down. He's not a real danger. Phil Anderson, though, is riding behind him in his slipstream and not assisting with the pace. And just behind both of them is Martin Early. There's Anderson, last year's winner by a single second, and that's how close the race was a year ago.
Well, the gap not really maturing at all here, not expanding. Yates still at the front, setting the tempo, setting a nice, comfortable tempo, not letting this group get too far away. Chiandri comfortably there in 3rd or 4th position. You see all the climbers are starting to come forward now. You just get a glimpse of Chiandri's yellow jersey every now and again. Nice and comfortable. Here comes, it looks like Robert Miller starting to come to the front now.
So the field has closed right down, the race coming together. And no sign of Chiandri, but he's there just behind Sean Yates. You can see him now from our helicopter. And so they've come together. I'm surprised they haven't split up a little bit more on this climb, but we're on what the riders call the easy side of Holme Moss, where the roads are very wide and very good. And Anderson has now got himself back in control. That's Volsvold who's come alongside. On the left of our picture is Claverola, the two Z boys, who might well feature in the Wencanton Classic on Sunday, which of course goes over a similar course as today, in parts at least. Chiandri now must be gaining in confidence. He's found Sean Yates' back wheel, but Miller's gone. Now Robert Miller has decided to accelerate up to the leaders. Now I can only assume that if Robert's going to get up there, he's going to have a go, Paul, because this is his last chance.
Well, he moved up to the front and now he's accelerating away. Anderson doesn't react at the moment. He probably expects that Miller will just go for the King of the Mountains competition. Miller moving away quite clearly here. No reaction from the main field at the moment. Still Phil Anderson setting the tempo at the front.
The slightly built Scot now. He spotted the crowd at the summit. He's racing right towards them. He will hope he will disappear amongst the colourful jerseys of many of the enthusiasts here on the top, and he'll quickly disappear if he does. Look at this wonderful crowd. There is Miller. You saw the gap. It looked to be about 10 or 15 seconds, but Miller is such a good climber. King of the Mountains, still the only British rider ever to have won that title in the Tour de France. That was back in 1984 when he finished 4th in the Tour de France. The green flag, 200 metres to go from the top, and he's away.
He's got a good lead there. I could just see in the crowd Thierry Claverola trying to pick away after him. If the two riders can get together, then it's quite a good chance. Miller getting down over the top of this climb. There's the line. Miller goes over the top to take maximum points in the King of the Mountains.
Now, will he keep going, Paul? Because he's got a lead. There's one rider gone over just ahead of the field there, but that certainly isn't Miller. That is Claverola, who's gone just off the head of the field. And it looked to me like it was Zamana who came over in 3rd place. Let's have a look at the result. Miller, it was Claverola and Zamana in 3rd place. Sean Yates is 4th. So that makes Zamana the overall winner of the King of the Mountains title. Anderson moves up to 2nd place today. He's had a good day out, and Brian Smith, the early leader, he's back in 3rd slot. Now, look at the face at Robert Miller. We're heading down the other side of Holme Moss, and 24 seconds is the first time gap, and Miller is going like a train.
It really is going well on this part of the descent here. The speeds down the descent here, the riders will be doing 50 or 55 miles an hour. You can see the main group coming down the back end there, and the little spot you can see just having taken the corner, that's Robert Miller. 24 seconds, they can just see him at the moment. They're going to have to react soon.
Well, this reminds me of the descents when Miller was racing down in towards Luchon, where he once won a stage of the Tour de France. Now into Huddersfield, a time bonus sprint here, and there's the gap. 1 minute and 17 seconds we're up to now. That means that Robert Miller, who started the day 33 seconds behind Chiandri here, is now in the race lead, and Chiandri is in trouble because he's losing time. This is a time bonus sprint, 3 seconds for the first rider. Miller gets that, and that will help him as well now as he heads off towards Leeds. This is going to cause for a reaction from Motorola. Jan Shaw is there. But let's have a look at the result of the sprint in Huddersfield. Robert Miller then gets the win. Chiandri is 2nd, Adrie van der Poel is 3rd, and they're all together behind Miller. And welcome back to the final day of the Kelloggs Tour of Britain. 1 minute 49 seconds. Robert Miller now is the race leader on the road of the Kelloggs race. But it's time for us now to say goodbye to the man who's been our eyes and ears on the road this week, Alan Piper.
This is my 2nd to last day racing in England. I'd just like to say thank you to all the people who watched me over the years, who came to support me in the mountains in the Tour de France, who cheered me on, sent me letters, read my articles. You people have really helped make a career for me. So thanks very much. It's been great.
Well, there we are. That says it all. The Alan Piper Chats show on Channel 4. Well done, Alan, and the best of luck for the future. But let's get back up now to the man who's trying to win the Kelloggs Tour, Robert Miller. 1 minute 28 seconds, Paul. The gap is coming down at 100 miles covered.
Well, it's coming down, but it's not coming down very quickly at all. The Motorola team at the front here with Sean Yates, followed by Michel Derniz and Andy Bishop there setting the pace. The gap has hovered for quite a while now. It's down to 1 minute 28 seconds. It really isn't coming down so quickly.
Well, the Motorola boys are getting themselves organised, and one or two Carrera riders trying to get in on the working group. The TVM rider here is trying to slow down the attack, because that is Alan van den Bosch. His idea is to try and disrupt the chase in defence of Robert Miller. Here's Alan Piper moving up as well.
Van der Poel being looked after by Alan Piper as we come in towards the next sprint. This is Miller entering the circuit. He'll come over the line. He'll have 3 laps of an 8-kilometre, 5-mile circuit to go.
He'll also get a 3-second time bonus here, Paul, which gives him 6 seconds at pickup on the day. He's now only 20 seconds in real time behind the race leader, Max Schiandri. And look at this crowd here in Leeds as we go out on the circuit now. The gap is coming down, but he's not caught yet. And can he hang on? There's 3 big circuits here of the city of Leeds. Here's the main field coming through, and this will be an interesting time bonus sprint as well. And let's have a look, because that was Adrie van der Poel on the left of our picture. He was second, and Eddie Schurer taking 3rd place. So van der Poel also making time there. Overall, Max Schiandri is the winner of the Pop-Tart sprint competition. 24 points he's picked up since we rolled away from Dundee. Robert Miller now is feeling all of the pressure of taking over this race in the last 20 miles. Because the lead is down, as far as we know, to 50 seconds, so it is coming down quickly. He's still the yellow jersey theoretically, though. He's
still yellow jersey on the road and riding excellently. He's been doing speeds of 40 miles an hour over the last few descents here, but interestingly enough, behind, Adrie van der Poel has come up to be the same time as Max Schiandri, so if they come back to Robert Miller, it's going to be a very exciting bunch sprint.
It's going to come down to the computer deciding the result if we keep this up, Paul. The Motorola boys here are riding well, and they put their strongman on the front. Sean Yates back into the finishing circuit here in Coventry, in Leeds, as we go through the finishing banner. Miller is out in front still, and the crowd are trying to urge him on now. But if they look further down the road, they're going to see the bunch is not that far behind. Miller has totally committed himself. It is everything or nothing for him now as we go through the city of Leeds, which is absolutely soaked in sunshine, and there are thousands watching the finish here.
And they're all getting behind Robert Miller. That was an incredible roar when he came into the circuit. The people here really love to see him racing on British soil. The main field coming up now with 2 laps to go. There's going to be 10 miles for Robert Miller just to try and hang on there. All the time we keep seeing that white jersey of the national champion of Great Britain on the front there. Sean Yates really putting the full mask on, as he only knows how to, and really pull this bunch along.
Well, he's a superb cyclist, Sean Yates. He's had big wins of his own, including the Tour of Belgium in the past, and a great stage win in the Tour de France. So he has a pedigree, as well as being the man that the Motorola boys count on when it comes to the big chase down. Miller is the man he's chasing, and if we put them together, I'm not so sure you'd see Robert Miller. He weighs about 9 stone, 1 pound, and the big Sean Yates is now cutting down on him. Let's have a look as we pull back from the lone figure of Robert Miller. And there they are. Well, I make that gap about 15, 16 seconds.
It's not very much, and now they'll begin to see Robert Miller. They'll know that the work they've done has been really well done. They'll know that Robert Miller will be about to crack. He's been in front for such a long time now. He's been away since the top of Holme Moss, but now the attacks are coming thick and fast on the circuit. May well be one of the Helvetia riders going again. Difficult to see from the helicopter. May well be Guido Winterberg, who's tried. He's tried so many times during this race here. You see the attacks really speeding up the field now, and that's the end of it for Robert Miller. He's been caught, but what a valiant effort to try and take the Kelloggs Tour on the last day.
He did the only thing he possibly could do, Paul. He used his ability on the mountains to get away, and he did that. He broke the field at that point. He went away very, very quickly indeed, but these 3 circuits here of Leeds have been his downfall. Schiandri can breathe again, but of course the finish is still to come, and it's still literally a few seconds between the top 4 riders in the overall. It will go down to the bonus times on the line possibly, and the yellow jersey is well aware of that. So too are the rest of his team here as they try to get up to the front now to sort out the big sprint, and Yates again is being the strong man.
Yeah, he's really taking a look at that face on him. This is what the riders in the Tour de France call the full mask of Sean Yates. He's really dishing out the pain at the moment, and they're having a difficult job trying to stay on his wheel.
Well, the speed of the main field here is tremendous as they come down, and they're running back now on towards the hedgerow. The finishing banner is right in the distance there, and the attacks are still being launched very thick and fast. That's Adriano Taffi who's gone clear. A stage winner indeed in this race a couple of years ago, and he's trying now to clip away before the finish.
It was a good move. He may well surprise them. They've got 1 lap to go. You can just hear the bell ringing in the back there. Sean Yates still at the front. Main field going through here. He didn't have much of a lead as he goes into the first corner, but I'm sure now we'll start to see the Carrera boys and the Lotto boys coming to the front.
Well, look at this now. They've come all together. It's all down to the big sprint. The bonuses are crucial. 10 seconds for the win. Redant is going. That was his teammate, Patrick Dunut, who's tried to block off the field to get Redant clear. 10 seconds for the win, and a 6-second gap on the field will give Britan the final victory here. He knows it, and look at that gap as the field will have to chase him down. The Motorola boys go. The green jersey Johan Museo is off on the right as well. All of the riders now launching for the line, and this is a big chase down. They've closed down on Redant, but the rider who won at Dundee is going to win here in Leeds as well. He looks over his shoulder. Ludwig is in second place. He gets the stage, but I don't think the win. So a last-minute attempt by Hendrik Redant to steal the final yellow jersey. It failed, but he won the stage, out-sprinting in the end Olaf Ludwig. Adrie van der Poel was in third place, Johan Museu was fourth, and Max Schiandri finished in fifth place. Hendrik Redant on the podium tonight, just like he was at Dundee, collecting his second piece of exclusive Waterford crystal. The overall situation, this race has always been a battle for seconds, and Max Schiandri just a few seconds ahead of Van der Poel, who did close the gap, but not enough. Hendrik Redant, by virtue of his win, climbed up to finish third overall. The yellow jersey, the first ever time that Max Schiandri has won a final yellow jersey, and Paul Schoen is with him at the finish.
So it's been a very difficult day. Were you nervous?
Oh, very, very, very nervous. Most nervous day of my life. More than the first day I started professional, you know. But, you know, the first time I was in a leader's jersey, and quite a bit of responsibility, you know, but a good job. I had Phil very good with the tactics, and Sean with the legs, and all the other boys, you know.
What about the attack by Robert Miller? Did that worry you a little bit? Because he nearly went to 2 minutes.
Well, he's on his own. If it was two guys, it was a bit more worrying, but, you know, on his own, it's gonna be more difficult. You know, having a team riding a steady pace in the front, he would have came back. It was a headwind too, you know, so everybody worried me at the end, the final laps here, every attack, you know. I was chasing either myself or with Sean or with Phil or Michelle, everybody.
And Max taking full advantage there of riding on a very strong team. Well, they really looked after him today on the road into Leeds. He also triumphed in two other competitions. The points competition for the most consistent daily finisher, that's the green jersey, and also the white jersey for the sprint competition, the Kelloggs Pop-Tart Series, out on the course. And so the under-24 winner, Martin den Bakker, the young man here taking the red jersey. He was the former champion of Holland as an amateur, now making his way as a top professional. In the King of the Mountains, it was Cesare Zamana who triumphed on the big climbs better than most. Well, the Kellogg's Tour may be over, but cycling on Channel 4, nor here in the city of Leeds, certainly is not, because on Sunday, it's round 7 of the World Cup competition, and it's the Wincanton Classic, a race that will last more than 7 hours. They're using much of the same course as today, and the riders in the Kellogg's Tour will soon be joined by riders from other top teams throughout Europe, including Claudio Chiappucci, and we hope Stephen Roach, who through injury was unable to start in the Kellogg's Tour. The route will take the riders over Holme Moss twice, the opposite way to the way we came today. We're going up the steep side. Now, if you're going out on the course, especially to Holme Moss, the police are saying the roads up Holme Moss may be closed as early as 6 a.m. You may only get your car as far as the village of Holme. After that, you'll have to walk. But I'll tell you, if the weather's like this, that won't be too much of a hardship. I hope you've enjoyed our coverage of the Kellogg's Tour. If you can't be out with us on Sunday, do join us on Channel 4 at 5:30 Sunday night for 1 hour highlights of the Wincanton Classic. And until then, from me, Phil Liggett, and my co-commentator, Paul Sherwin, goodbye.